A lot of you guys don't recognize your own value, even though you're successful on paper. And it's because you focus too much on your imperfections. You look at people who are better than you and you feel excluded. Or when you're outside of your comfort zone, you feel exposed. And when you fail, you decide to withdraw. And this applies to your wealth, your fitness, and even how you feel about your culture in relation to the people and the society around you. But after approaching more than 1,000 women at this point, I've realized that a lot of guys have been infected with this inferiority complex, and it's been made 10 times worse as a result of the looks maxing hysteria that's been basically spreading like wildfire all over the internet. But look, here's the reality. All of us, you and me, want to have a beautiful woman by our side as we conquer the world. In a way, she represents all the success that we've earned. She's the cherry on top. But that's why self-worth is a very difficult virtue to strive for, because it cuts both ways, right? In a weird paradoxical way, self-worth isn't purely obtained by ourselves. We need other people to value us and to validate us so that we feel worthy. And it just so happens to be that a beautiful woman is at the top of that validation hierarchy. I learned about this inferiority complex firsthand when I started Cold Approach 2 years ago. Whenever I would see a really beautiful girl, I was more afraid to approach her than, let's say, most girls. Why? Because deep down inside, I felt unworthy. I felt inferior. And sure, I would come up with all sorts of excuses. Oh, she looked mean, she looked like she was busy, she was in a hurry, etc, etc, etc. But the truth is, that was all cope. I was scared to approach her because I knew deep down inside that if she rejected me, then I would feel unworthy. But that isn't everything, because I really felt this inferiority when I actually started seeing more success with women, which is paradoxical, right? In fact, I remember hooking up with this absolute baddie, and this was about a year ago. And it was a weird experience because even though I gained more confidence from it, I simultaneously still felt inferior beneath the surface. A part of me felt as if it was a lucky win, even though I'd already dated girls of a similar caliber to her, even if they weren't exactly as attractive. And so, in that moment, after reflecting on the experience, I realized that my inferiority was a byproduct of being blind to my true hidden value. And so what was that value? That value was the vibrant life I've lived thus far and the character that I've developed as a result. Because look, I've traveled across the world and that shows my adventurous side. I've climbed mountains, which shows my discipline and perseverance. I've studied abroad, which forced me to learn about new cultures. I used to ride dirt bikes, which shows my appetite for risk. I even graduated at the top of my class, which shows my strong work ethic. I've even played in international football tournaments and performed the drums in front of big audiences. So I have the ability to perform in public under pressure. And you might see that as bragging or trying to boost up my ego. And if you do, then so be it, I don't really care. But the point is, I have lived a life, an interesting life. I guess the kids nowadays would call it dad law, right? I've developed this dad law based on all these experiences and the stories that I've accumulated. And by the way, I'm 29, so I'm not an unk, I'm not that old. But the point is, I have lived life and I have something interesting to talk about and something interesting to give to a beautiful girl, right? And the reality is that women love that and they gravitate towards it, but we're just hidden to it as guys because we're too busy focusing on other external superficial traits like our jawlines or how much muscle we have. And those traits and those qualities are still good, and still important to some degree, but I don't think they're the most important. I think the stories you have and the life you've lived goes way beyond, because that's what really separates you from most people. And the truth is, women love all of this. They love the stories, the lifestyle, the achievements, and even the losses, right? Because at the end of the day, it all contributes to the interesting life that you've lived so far, and people want to be a part of that. Now, how do we solve this inferiority complex? Well, let me start by saying this. I'm not saying that you need to live the exact same life that I've lived, because we're two different people in two different environments, and it can take time to accumulate this law. However, there is one goal that you can work towards right now in order to get rid of this inferiority nonsense that is plaguing young men. And that goal is mastery. Men feel confident and worthy when they are competent at a skill. For me personally, I'm pretty good at the drums. I've been playing it since I was in high school, and even though I took a bit of a break when I went to university and started working, I recently got back into it, and I still have the skills and all the practical experience that I developed when I learned and performed in school. So when you dedicate time and energy towards mastering a craft, your self-respect and your self-image naturally increases. But unfortunately, young men have forgotten how to play to their unique strengths. They're too busy looking at what other people are doing that they've basically become unable to listen to that intuitive, creative spark that's always calling at them, that's always beckoning at them. And I believe that everybody watching this video has that spark within them. And when you find it, women will feel it and they will sense it and they will gravitate towards you. However, don't get too carried away. It's not that simple, because look, you still have to go outside and showcase this value and this law to the girls that you're attracted to. And of course, that's where cold approach comes in. Because look, cold approach is like any other skill. You need to master it just like you need to master the craft that you've decided to pursue. And as such, you should dedicate a portion of your life to mastering the art of seduction. And once you do that, you won't feel inferior anymore. You'll feel powerful, and the world will become yours. So good luck.